Hey folks, what's up? Lex here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Masters of the WWE Universe, Triple H Evil Skull King of Kings. I got this figure at Walmart for $15. So a quick little story before we actually open the figure up, which is going to be very painful for me because I love this packaging. I was going to record this video yesterday reviewing a different figure, not even a wrestling figure, but my camera battery was dead and I couldn't figure out why, so I set it to the side and I decided, okay, I'll just record the video tomorrow or tonight or something like that. And I went to Walmart in between, and lo and behold, they had this on the shelf. This was the only Masters of the WWE Universe figure they had on the shelves. I've been looking for these to show up at my Walmart for weeks now. They've had the price stickers up for quite some time, but they just have not stocked anything until this, and I was surprised to see this was the only one on the shelf. And I've been going to Walmart maybe every other day or so on average looking for these figures. They've had the ring by itself, not the ring with the figures. I'm hoping to get all of these and kind of do a review on all of them. I wanted to gather them all at the same time and do them all together, but I have no idea if I'm going to be able to get all of these or what. So I don't like ordering online, so I like to find them in person, so it's even more difficult to find figures. But yeah, let's get on to the review of this Triple H. So the other figures in this line are Sting, Finn Balor. There are two Triple H's, there's a John Cena, and an Ultimate Warrior. I think I got all of them there. And I, growing up, was not a fan of He-Man. I was into Turtles, and I was into Power Rangers, and all that kind of stuff. But I was never into Masters of the Universe. So when I first heard about these figures, I was not excited at all. But then I saw the figures, and I just gotta say, these are probably some of the coolest looking figures Mattel has ever produced. One of my biggest gripes with Mattel basic and elite figures is that they're so skinny. There's not a lot of heft to them, and when I was a kid playing, the more heft the better, because you could use the weight of the figure to kind of, you know, have the momentum when you were pulling off moves and all that kind of stuff. And that's not to say that I didn't have fun playing with the skinnier figures, but certainly the bigger figures had their place. But with Mattel, it always feels like they're so skinny, like the Mr. Perfect is so thin, it's ridiculous. So now we have these with their own special ring. I feel like Mattel has really put a lot into these Masters of the WWE Universe figures, and this is the first one I'm seeing in person, and it looks pretty cool. But let's open it up, because I know that's why you guys are here. Oh, it's gonna pain me so much to open this up. I really love the packaging of this. Be perfect to hang on the wall, look great, but I really want to see how the figure articulates and the weapon and the little comic book thing inside. So we're gonna open it up very carefully. Okay, so I've used an X-Acto knife to cut around the edge of the plastic, hoping this goes well here. Just kind of lift that forward, pull that back, take that out, get the little comic here, and packaging still in place, so I can tape it back up if I want to, or just keep the card. But yeah, it's really cool packaging, A+ stuff by Mattel there. Alright, first we're going to take a look at the comic book here. Let me go ahead and make sure this is in focus. So, Masters of the WWE Universe, it has the Triple H figure there on the front. This is, of course, Triple H from the 1998-1999 era, I believe. With the purple long tights. I've always liked those quite a bit. It's part of the reason I really like the look of this figure. So it gives information here. Triple H, Evil Skull King of Kings, height 6'4", weight 255. Superstar powers, a cerebral assassin and game master who uses fear to lead. For an object, Skull King crown and Sledgehammer of supremacy. The great battle has begun. A darkness threatens to consume WWE WWE Turnia. As the faction of evil superstars rises from parts unknown to control the balance of power, but the heroic superstars accept the challenge to defend the planet and determine who are the masters of the WWE Universe. And of course you got this little comic here. I'm sure you've read it if I've held it here long enough, all that stuff. I'll read that later. It's a very short comic, kind of I guess it basically sets up the story of these figures, which is very cool. They got the ring here that they sell separately, and then you've got, you know, the different attires. You've got the Sting with the scorpion claw, I guess it's supposed to be. It looks like more like a crab claw, but then you got the other figures here on the back of it. Triple H, Ultimate Warrior, Sting, and Finn Balor. I think, to me, Triple H looks the best out of all of these. Obviously, a lot of people like the Warrior and everything, but anyway, let's get to the figure here. Sorry if you hear any noises outside. There are people doing yard work outside as well. So, on the back here we have, try not to make too many plastic noises, we have the Sledgehammer. It's wrapped up in plastic, which is nice. Protect it. It's not going to be nice if I can't find the opening of it, though. Go ahead and bust out the X-Acto knife again. Okay, there we go. So we've got this Sledgehammer here. It's got a skull design on it. Very cool on both sides. A little detail on the top. It's got detail on the handle. All one color. Now let's take the Triple H out. Now he's got a cape here. Dispose of that plastic. Alright, oh, I like the way this is articulating so far, but so here is the Triple H Masters of the WWE Universe figure, at least one of them. There's another one that comes with the ring and John Cena, and it's a more modern Triple H with, you know, black trunks and Wolverine claws and stuff like that, so it's pretty crazy. This one is more traditional, or classic I should say. It's not traditional. Traditional would be the short trunks, but this is more classic Triple H, late 90s era with China and everything. The purple tights with the old Triple H logo on it, as well as the purple elbow pads. I don't think he ever wore purple elbow pads. I might be wrong on that one. Yeah, I'm pretty confident he never wore purple elbow pads. In fact, when he wore long tights, I don't think he ever wore elbow pads. I might be wrong on that again, but I'm pretty sure the purple elbow pads are not there. But since this is kind of like a Masters of the WWE Universe, you know, fantasy figure, why not put the purple elbow pads on there? They look good, so I'm not going to complain too much. Maybe would have looked better if they had black to match the black boots, but not going to stress too much about that. Now obviously this figure has pieces to it you can take apart. First thing we're going to do though is look at the back here, because the back has this awesome cape to it, and this is a cloth material. You can see through it pretty easily, so it's probably not too sturdy, but it is there, and I believe it's being held in place back here. So we're going to go ahead and take off the helmet here. You can see, let me get a better shot of the helmet. It's got purple eyes painted into the black holes there. It's got the skull, looks metal, it's got the chainmail on the side, and then the crown here on top. So without the helmet, this is what he looks like. The head scan is pretty good. It looks like a cartoonish version of Triple H. This Triple H head scan is more of the later Triple H. I wouldn't really call this Purple Tights era Triple H head scan, but there it is. On the back here is where you lift up the little clip to take off his breastplate, I guess you would call it. his shoulder pads. Just kind of take them off from down there. We'll put this guy in the back. Oh man, these figures are really cool. Okay. We're almost there to talk about the figure itself, but we're going to talk about the shoulder pads right here. You've got 2 skulls on the side, the cross in the middle, spikes, Legion of Doom style. Of course, the cape is kind of attached to this plastic molding in here. So it looks like it might come out really easily if you yank it, so be careful of that. So the figure articulation is actually really nice for a figure of this size. You've got the head movement up and down, left to right, side to side, all that good stuff. You've got arm movement up and down. It goes outward as well. You got movement at the elbow joint, movement at the wrist, and swiveling at the wrist here. He's got 2 different hand parts. One is kind of like a thumbs up, but it's to hold the sledgehammer. And then another one is a fist that's closed. Would have been nice to have 2 open fists so he can like hold the sledgehammer like this, you know? Hold it like that, but not too big of a deal. Okay, so the first bad articulation point on this is you cannot move the torso up and down like you can on elite figures. You can swivel at the waist. You get leg up and down. Knee movement too. It's kind of hard to tell and do because of the knee pad itself, but it's there. You get swivel at the shin here, up and down on the foot. And that is it. So lots of articulation for this smaller figure here. The torso is made of a hard plastic. Pretty much all of it is hard plastic here, except for the elbow and knee pads. The hair is a rubber as well, but everything else is hard plastic. I do see some like lines here in the plastic that are kind of unsightly. It's not too bad, I guess, but it kind of just looks like the figure has dry skin. That's a way to describe it, I guess. But yeah, so I really think these figures will be great for playability. If you have a kid or kids and you want to get them some wrestling toys to play with, I think these are perfect. They come with accessories like the sledgehammer and the costume stuff. You can really put a little spin onto, the sci-fi spin onto it. The fantasy setting spin, whatever you want to call it. But this figure is awesome. The articulation is really surprising me. I did not expect articulation for a crossover figure like this, I guess. So growing up, I never really had a fondness for the Hasbro figures. I know that's kind of controversial to say in the figure collecting world, but I just never grew up with them. I never had the nostalgia for them. I, just look at them as these small, unarticulated figures that look kind of weird. I do like the packaging on those, though. I think the packaging is awesome on them. If you're going to keep them on card and hang them on the wall, I can definitely see that, and might even want to do that at one point. But for now, just looking at the Masters of the Universe figure here, it's got that same kind of small charm. It's got the exaggerated physique, but it's got the articulation as well, and it's got our accessories, and it's got its own ring and stuff like that. They just went full board with this thing, and I love it. And this is probably one of my favorite things that Mattel has done with the WWE license. It just makes a whole lot of sense. The execution is really good. Big thumbs up to them on this. So here's a size comparison to the Elite Mr. Perfect figure that I got way back when Mattel just started making figures. Quite a bit smaller, but also quite a bit wider. I was complaining earlier about how skinny some of the figures are for Mattel, especially the Elites, and this Kurt Hennig here. I mean, if you look and compare, obviously Triple H is a little exaggerated. I'd say a little exaggerated. It's not too bad, but it's heftier. It's more thick. You know, when you're delivering a clothesline or something like that, there's some heft there. So the playability with these WWE Masters of the Universe figures might be really nice, especially for kids who are banging them around and stuff like that. But I went ahead and took the purple elbow pads off, just to kind of give them a true to era look here. Obviously the beard probably shouldn't be there, the sideburns you could probably leave, but this head scan does make him look a little more menacing, you know, so maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. Obviously we have to knock points off for not being completely true to that era, but I honestly don't even care. This figure is so cool, especially when you add in the stuff like the helmet. And, you know, it's just, even if you wanted to, like, if you're going to play with these figures, if you wanted to grab both Triple H's, you could make this one always wear the mask and just have a masked wrestler. And, you know, we could have an angle where you take off the mask or remove the mask or whatever. It's his brother or something like that, you know, I don't know. Just kind of get creative with it. These are so cool. Like I said, probably my favorite thing Mattel has done in a long time, and I'm glad I picked it up. The price point of $15 at first I thought was steep. Just looking at the packaging, it looked like maybe a $10 figure would be the sweet spot for it, but to be honest, you get the elbow pads, the sledgehammer, the shoulder pads with the cloth cape, the head mask thing. You get a very cool figure with lots of articulation. It's hefty. The face scan, although inaccurate for the era, is still really cool, and just overall this is a big thumbs up for me. If you see these in stores, grab one, see if you like it, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it. Again, this is the only one I have so far, so I can't vouch for Sting or Finn Balor or Ultimate Warrior or The Ring or anything like that, but this is a good start, and I look to pick up more of these guys as I see them in stores. That's going to do it for this figure review. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment to let me know what you think of this crossover. Is it a good idea? Did these figures do anything for you? Do you want to see more of them being reviewed? And subscribe to see more figure reviews in the future. Until next time, this is Lex, signing off.